बहुत धन्यवाद। जय
ठीक है।
बहुत बढ़िया।
Followed convention and addressed the joint houses. But it appears that the multiple shortcomings of this present government were overlooked. While in her speech she requested the houses to be productive, we have seen this morning how the house had to be again adjourned because certain honorable members were demanding that the coal supply be made normal. Now I agree with them, because this country is facing an acute shortage of coal, and the electricity that is being produced from coal is going to be, the supply is going to be disturbed, and it is known that some states have coal storage for 2 coming days, some have no coal in their stores at all. A country which is being thought to be thriving forward and going ahead in leaps and bounds has to take care of the power sector. So this possibly has been overlooked. And the state like West Bengal, from which coal is distributed to the rest of the nation and even outside, is not being paid the royalty over the coal. So we, as in West Bengal, have been facing a dire shortage of fund. When this present government took over, we had a debt trap of 2,03,000 crore on us, which is like a death trap to the people. Every person, even the little child, the little infant born today, would have a 21,000 rupee debt on his or her head. This has been allowed to happen by the union government because every time loan was allowed, debt was allowed since 2001 to 2010, when the previous government was there. And during that time, the debt accumulated along with the interest. So now every year, 22,000 crore has to be paid back to the union government. And the FRBM was also not imposed, it was not passed. It was only passed in 2010 June, so that we cannot even take any borrowing anymore in the present state government to meet our requirements. Though this state is now facing like an economic blockade, and the country being in a federal structure like an mother or a father figure taking care of all the other states, must have taken this into consideration. But in spite of multiple appeals, this has not been brought forward, it has not been given a thought. So we have a request to the government that the interest and repayment moratorium in a form of an annual grant for a period of 3 consecutive years be made, and also a long-term financial debt restructuring program be taken care of. We request the government of India to restore in full the CST compensation to the states. The government is also being requested that our state has 7 districts which have international borders, and certain more funds are required to take care of these international borders because of security reasons. The government is taking care of external and internal security, as we hear, but without considering again the federal structure. The anti-terrorism body is being formed without considering the federal structure. This has to be given a second thought, and in its present form, we would like it to be scrapped altogether. And we also would like to point out that this money shortage that always is being given as an excuse to bring about projects which are of benefit to the common man can be always done away with if we take into consideration that nearly 48 lakh crore rupees is lying in foreign banks as far as the black money is concerned, and we have requested time and again that the names have been made known by these foreign banks, and they should be made known to the public. The public have a right to know it, and if we have that money back, we can give 1 lakh rupee to each BPL card holder, or for 1 whole year without collecting taxes the country can be run, or also we can electrify all our villages which have no electricity. Now nobody has spoken about this in seriousness, thought about this in seriousness, and as far as our government is concerned, we have this Rural Infrastructure Development Fund which was made in 95-96, and the interest was 6.5%. This has been brought up, and at the moment we would have to pay about 10%, which is absolutely impossible for the state government. So I would request on behalf of the state government of West Bengal to keep the bank rate at 6% for the loans available for RIDF, and that is essential for growth of the rural structure. The infrastructure has been talked about in this speech, but we don't see any measure by which we can actually form the rural infrastructure, because there are no roads. So when the person is sick, ambulance cannot reach, or if the ambulance reaches, the patient is taken to a subsidiary health center where there is no electricity. So a very important injection of methargine rots away in the fridge, in the storeroom, because there is no electricity, and we are losing mothers. So unless we take care of the MMR and the IMR, the maternal mortality and infant mortality, we are cheating ourselves when we say that we are taking care of the health system. The health system is totally being neglected, and though we can clap ourselves on the back saying we have done away with polio, but there are other diseases like chikungunya, malaria, dengue, and also Kala-Azar, which we have to take care. And we have also talked about irrigation here. But I would like to bring to your notice here, madam, that as far as irrigation is concerned, the West Bengal government is facing a serious challenge, because our source of water in the Bhagirathi has been flowing down the drain literally. Our Farakka barrage has been intentionally or unintentionally made breaches into, for which 80% of our water is draining away. And the farmers there are suffering. The amount of water that flows in these months down the Bhagirathi has decreased. Silting will take place, for which the farmer is going to lose more, and irrigation will be a big problem. And this, we request, has to be investigated into. The gate number 13 and 16, they had collapsed in June 2011. But till date, nothing has been done to repair them properly, and we require that to keep the Calcutta and the Haldia ports functional. These gates will have to be taken up immediately in all seriousness and repaired, so that not only the water of irrigation but the ports can be saved. And even besides this, madam, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that suddenly, as the elections came near, the empowerment of minorities was given a thought to 4.5%. This seems to be like a gimmick, since among the minorities the Muslims form 73%, and they are very much underrepresented and sometimes wholly unrepresentative in government jobs. And we think that in this respect, we should increase, and the word backward is being used for them.
Please.
We should also increase the word socially and educationally, and reserve posts for them in all cadres and grades under central and state government.
Thank you. Thank you.
And also the NCTC should be scrapped altogether. As far as roads are concerned, infrastructure is building of roads, also the highways. The government of India has allotted 50 crore for a distance of 452 kilometers of the highway, national highway, starting from Calcutta 34 going up to Dalkola. I think this is a big joke. 50 crores cannot be used for even 50 kilometers. So for 454, there's been an allotment of 50 crores, which seems like a joke.
Yes.
And there is another national highway in Bengal, National Highway 2, where there is a very important military base in Panagarh.
Yes.
That is also dilapidated.
National
Highway 35 is also dilapidated, and it forms a good international border. So I wish to draw your attention to these facts so that they are taken care. Thank you.
Yes.